Disney re-releasing Endgame in effort to beat Avatar's box office record. That coming up next on MBE Heroes. And we're going to kick off the show, John, with this news coming in from Variety.com. In fact, it's everywhere.
Yes.
It's here, there and everywhere.
Here, there and everywhere,
and it comes as no surprise either.
It doesn't, no, Stephen. I'm very excited to hear this because, as you know, I want this movie to beat Avatar with all my being. I don't despise Avatar. I'll stop myself in my tracks here right away. It's just an average movie, Stephen. It is not befitting of the top spot in the all-time grossing list. I'll kind of come in and define James Cameron first before I go off on a complete rant against it. Though, what he did though with that movie you can't criticise the man. He's taken a movie from nowhere, from his mind. Some people would say he's obviously plagiarised Fern Gully, which he did. No doubt about it. I was a big Fern Gully fan when I was a child, and that movie is a sci-fi sort of a blue alien version of Fern Gully. But for him to take a movie with no setup, no cinematic universe, nothing, and make 2.78 billion or whatever it's sitting at just now is extraordinary. For it to last the best part of 10 years is extraordinary as well. It could be even further. This might not even be successful, but as I did say, Stephen, it's not befitting for me. I don't think it's good enough to stay as a top spot. I think Endgame is the rightful film to be in that top spot, and I really do hope that it topples it, just for what it stands for. Culmination of 11 years of hard work, blood, sweat and tears, setting up characters, and it's just a fantastically crafted movie. It's so incredible what these filmmakers, these writers did to bring together all of these ideas, all of these incredible story elements, big, incredible, bombastic battles and visuals. It's outrageous. It shouldn't have worked. They made it work, and for that reason, it deserves to be number one. I'll let you in before I go right in to some of my criticisms of some of the little bitches that have been moaning about this decision, because they're wrong.
If it doesn't beat it, John, I don't think anything's going to beat it, because she said this is a combination of 22 films over 12 years or whatever it is. And the film itself, take all that sort of baggage away from it. It's an outstanding film with a great cast, and coming in just over 3 hours as well. It's asking a lot for anyone to,
flew by though, didn't it?
We've seen it a few times in the cinema. It was just one of those films that you get engrossed in, and the time does fly. But if this doesn't beat it, I don't think anything's going to beat it, to be honest with you. No,
Stephen, what I was getting at, and you're right, if anything is going to beat it, it's going to be Endgame. If it doesn't, then I think you're looking at another decade at least, to perhaps another Marvel movie. It sets up a whole other cinematic universe with new characters. The whole cosmic Phase 4, potentially Phase 5, and then it could
but John,
another movie.
What everyone was saying when Endgame came out, it was a once in a lifetime experience that will never be repeated. I think that was, a lot of people said that, after they saw the film. So I don't think even if Marvel were to go through a whole cycle of the Phase 4 and do this again, that would have the same sort of support. Certainly,
wrong.
I just don't see. I don't think people would have the energy to do that again. This is the time for it now.
Stephen, what I'm going to get into firstly before I ponder another little question to you is just, as I did say, these little bitches I've seen mentioning things like it will have an asterisk next to it if it finally does topple Avatar as the number one grossing movie. No, it won't. Did they not know the history? James Cameron re-released Avatar, and it gained another $40 million at the box office. Endgame would be just $5 million away or something just now from being the number one movie if it hadn't re-released, been re-released Avatar, that is. So there will be no asterisks. These movies have been re-released, both of them. Umpteen different blockbusters and studios re-release movies to get more money. It's been done time and time again. I've just seen a 50th anniversary of some other movie. I can't recall what the hell it is, but it's been re-released. They do it all the time. It happens. There'll be no asterisks. I hope it tops it. They're doing the right thing as well, Stephen, because I think they did make a mistake. If I had one criticism of that movie, it was not having any end screen stuff. The end credit stuff, I should say, not end screen. I'm obsessed with YouTube and the end screen. Sorry about that. Post credit scenes. Not having a tribute to Stan Lee. I felt that was a little bit wrong, and they're righting the wrong here. Maybe they've always had this in their mind. They thought it would have a good chance of getting close to Avatar in its first run, and then they would bring out a sort of a ceremonial second run with additional information. Speaking about that additional information, will this be enough to get you back in the cinema, Stephen, to watch it another couple of times? And what do you think it will be? Do you think, because I've seen a lot of people speculating that this could be them perhaps tying up some things like, where did Gamora go? Where is her situation just now after Endgame? Or perhaps is it going to set up some information about maybe cosmic characters coming into play with the Asgardians?
No. I think you sort of touched on it. I think it may be some kind of tribute to Stan Lee.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be any story points or anything like that, taking us off in other directions or giving us stuff to think about until Spider-Man comes out, or Phase 4 actually, starts.
Well, Spider-Man's end, I'm saying it again, post-credits are meant to be incredible.
Yeah.
Apparently they're extraordinary. So.
I've not heard anything. I don't know if I want to know, but
yeah, I'm not looking at it.
Do I want to get back and see it? I don't know, John. I don't know if I would really go out my road to see something that happens at the very end of the film, sit there for 3 hours and be very disappointed if it's not what I'm expecting.
Oh, but it could be worth it though. This is the thing.
I know it's a gamble, isn't it?
Yeah. You'd need to wait and see, wouldn't you?
But you'll get a lot of people going out, just because they want to beat the Avatar record. But I'm not at that kind of, as much as I wasn't that fussed about Avatar as a movie. I said to you before we came on air, John, that I was kind of bored with it halfway through my first viewing of it. The visuals, you can't fault the visuals. The visuals are absolutely amazing. The characters as well, we're still talking about them to this day. And obviously the cast as well. It's a fantastic cast when you think back.
Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
Sam Worthington. Yeah. He was here, there, everywhere as well at that point.
He was one of those guys that was just cropping up all the time.
Early 2000s, Tom Hardy.
It was a good film, but I just found the story was a bit boring. But you'll get people coming out for that reason alone, which is up to them, I suppose. That wouldn't be my reason. I'll probably give it some thought, whether or not. There's a lot of films coming out, John, that I want to see. The likes of Spider-Man's coming out, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Toy Story 4's out, not seen it yet. And there's some other ones as well. So I don't know. It depends on my schedule, but
you're not going to do a double matinee?
Not with that film, no.
Endgame into Spider-Man Far From Home.
Wow, no.
5 hours?
No.
I might do that on a Sunday. I might.
Good luck.
I may. And we'll see. Might not though. It's
a
long time.
We'll move on anyway to our next article, John, that comes in from slashfilm.com. It's Black Widow recruits the Departed star Ray Winstone. He's not just in Departed. I've known about this guy for a long time, all the way back in Ovidius and Pet Days.
Yeah.
And I think he might have been in that film Scum. Might have been.
I'd
have to look back, but
he was in Cold Mountain.
Yeah,
that's what I do know. He's been in so many movies.
Noah as well, but this article, as well as Ray Winstone coming on board, it's also revealed that Midsommar's Florence Pugh, Stranger Things, David Harbour's in there as well, Rachel Weisz as well is in there. People that I didn't know were cast in this film, but Ray Winstone, terrific actor, John.
Yes.
Amazing in The Departed, great film as well.
It was, yeah.
But it was also in Indiana Jones 4. Which they don't mention here, and I'm not surprised about.
No, you don't want to mention that movie, Stephen.
No.
That was terrible.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not mentioning that. You don't besmirch a man's name. I think he's wanting that to be like the sort of a Star Wars holiday special. It doesn't exist. He doesn't want his name associated with it. So, but look, he will want his name associated with this, and it's probably. I think it's good news for the movie. I like the look of this cast they're assembling. How they all fit together is more intriguing to me. Obviously, David Harbour touched upon the fact that he was going to be one of the characters from Fantastic Four. I think it's Golem. Is that his name? Not Golem, the big rock guy. I'm not a Fantastic Four fan, as you can tell.
The Thing.
The Thing. Is that what it's called? I think it's The Thing. Yeah, he was hinting at some sort of a fan festival or convention that's what he was going to do. Ben Grimm. Yeah. I'm not a Fantastic Four.
He wasn't Scum there,
Yeah, he wasn't Scum. Yeah, Florence Pugh. Coming in, intriguing.
Yeah.
We've touched upon obviously Sam Worthington in the previous topic. She's kind of turning in to the female version. She's popping up and everything, but I'm not really disheartened by that because she's a fantastic young actress. So I've been intrigued to see where she fits in. Obviously, this story's been hinted. This is a Black Widow story, assassin, sort of a KGB assassin origin story, I believe. And it was hinted that it had similar sort of aspects to the Red Sparrow movie featuring obviously Jennifer Lawrence, and there was various different spies in that movie. You've seen them being trained. I wonder if she will perhaps be one of the similar things. It's characters who's popping up alongside, obviously Natasha, and this early sort of a camp, KGB camp. Who knows? How's Rachel Weisz going to fit in there? No idea. I have no idea. It's a whole sort of mishmash of various different actors. Strangely, they all seem to be English. Could that be a hint that we're going to England or the Great Britain?
Or we're going to get a lot of villains because they seem to go to
the Great Britain. That doesn't make sense.
They seem to go to English actors for the bad guys, So
yeah, well, Ray Winstone would be a fantastic villain, I have to say. So I've no idea where the characters' sort of arcs. I don't know what their arcs like in terms of comics. I can't really speak from any authority on that, so I don't know who they could be lining up.
Do you think they'll de-age them as well, John, so they can use them in future films?
I think they will de-age Scarlett Johansson for sure. Yeah. They have to. It's been set in the 90s. She's not aged terribly, but they will have to de-age her slightly. And as we know, Disney and Marvel know how to do that very well. They've done it with Kurt Russell, Michael Douglas, a whole host of different people. So
this is the
thing. I do think they will de-age her. Where is Ray Winstone going to come in? Will he play a villain?
Scarlett Johansson, when she was in Lost in Translation, was very young at the time. I don't know what age she was at the time, maybe 17, 18. And that was in the 2000s. So I don't know how this is going to work.
Yeah,
but then again,
maybe the character's young then, but actual actress, no. So maybe they'll have to de-age her back to her 2000s. Not 90s, that'd be far too young.
The time period of the cinematic universe anyway? They don't really, do they? They don't really.
No, we don't.
There's some obviously pop cultural references in there, particularly from Peter Parker, but there isn't any sort of standout sort of things that they mentioned.
I seem to recall something, Stephen, that it was perhaps, it's round about roughly the same time period that is also our current
real time,
real time. But it's not much of a difference. But it's very intriguing. I'm looking forward to seeing more and more information coming out about this movie. It's obviously the first of Phase 4, so I can't wait to see this great character getting perhaps a send-off if she is in fact dead and they don't do the whole revival thing again. So it'll be intriguing to see this character, as I did say, getting a standoff, getting to see Scarlett Johansson getting into her standalone movie finally. Some would say 10 years too late. I would be one of them. She's one of the more intriguing characters. And just seeing the cast and assembling, as I did say, is very interesting to say the least. And Ray Winstone, as I did say, would you want to see him play a villain? Because I would.
I think that's what he's suited to, but who knows. But we'll move on, John, to our next article. This comes in from Cinema Blend, and it's Kevin Feige, who's got a lot to say this week. Says a Spider-Man and Venom movie is likely, but up to Sony. Yes, it certainly is up to them, Kevin, because they own the characters. I think this whole thing, Spider-Verse thing, has kind of opened up a lot of people's minds into accepting different versions of Spider-Man and all that. It kind of says in here that I think most people would prefer to see traditional Spider-Man played by Tom Holland, sort of pit his wits up against Tom Hardy's Venom, John, which would be great to see. Venom was an okay film for me. I didn't think it was great.
Film of two halves.
It certainly was. Like the character, but it's probably one of Spider-Man's biggest arch enemies. So it would make sense for the characters to meet up at some point. But then again, getting back to the Spider-Verse thing, is it going to be Peter Parker's Spider-Man? Who knows? I don't know how Sony will want to play this. They might want to take the character back, but would it be Tom Holland that's playing him? It would really muddy the water a bit for me, that kind of thing.
I don't want them to take it back.
But I would like to see, I still want to see Miles Morales, in a live action. I think that would be great to see.
Who would play him? That'd be intriguing.
That's another question to ask as well, who would play him? But I think because of the animated film that came out at the end of last year, it has opened up a lot of possibilities now. There's a lot of references in this trailer, with the various trailers we've seen from Far From Home as well, especially with the Jake Gyllenhaal character. I think Samuel Jackson's character said something in one of the trailers about him being a version of, I can't remember what the words was, I'm paraphrasing here, but he was saying that the Jake Gyllenhaal character was from another multiverse.
Multiverse.
That would open up the door as well for that possibility. I do want to see Miles Morales at some point come into a live action film anyway, so why not do it then?
Yeah, Stephen, there's been rumours about obviously Venom crossing over into the MCU. Sony obviously were pushing for it apparently, and part of me did realise, I think, when they set up this multiverse thing with obviously Mysterio and Spider-Man's about to say Superman, that would be a real multiverse. But when they were setting that concept up, part of me felt that this could be a way for them to bring Venom in some strange way, maybe cross universe and do it. I don't know how they do it. I don't know what the actual thoughts are. Is Kevin Feige talking about taking the character of Venom across to the MCU, negotiating a deal and recasting him and doing their own sort of a take on it through the MCU? Or is it Tom Hardy's character they want to bring over? I would be on board for both. I thought Tom Hardy done a fantastic job at portraying Venom. As I did say, it was a film of two halves. The first half was intriguing enough, setting up the guy's life and just his fall from obviously being a journalist and whatnot, probing too far into obviously I think it was Riz Ahmed played the villain, his personal life and whatnot, and then he obviously met up with the alien, the symbiotic alien, obviously Venom, and then it went off into a traditional action superhero sort of a movie in the second half. I enjoyed it. I think, as they do say in the article, the humour blends well. It was quite a dark humour, the dark comedy in certain parts of Venom, and Hardy played it perfectly. I think it could traverse, I should say, into the MCU, but they'd have to lighten it up a bit because it was a little bit dark. He was eating people and whatnot. But as you did say, I would like to see Miles Morales perhaps popping up as well, and I think that's certainly. I've seen people, as I did say in the previous topic, talking about the post-credits of Far From Home. Apparently they're some of the best we've seen in a superhero movie. They open up some intriguing questions. Could it be Miles Morales popping up? I have to say, Stephen, I watched Detective Pikachu and I thought the young actor Justice Smith, I think he'd be a perfect fit for playing Miles Morales. In terms of looks and just acting, he really impressed me in that movie. He anchored a lot of it alongside Ryan Reynolds' Pikachu character. I'd like to see that guy getting a shot if they've not already cast a Miles Morales. If they're thinking about doing live action, he'd be my choice. But I think it's possible. I'd be on board for it. I like the two portrayals. I do not want to see them taking Tom Holland's character back over to the Sony version.
Sony as well have got their sort of, they're keeping themselves busy with the character Venom anyway. We know about, is it Morbius or something? I can't remember the name.
Morbius,
Jared Leto.
Yeah, the living vampire.
So we've got that, in the pipeline anyway. So it might be a little while before we get to see this happening anyway. But I would love to see it. But we'll move on, John, to a bit of DC news for a change here. Coming in, that a news report indicates Ezra Miller shooting the Flash movie after Fantastic Beasts 3.
Not Beats.
But this, I think it's Variety. It's actually been speaking to Ezra Miller, and it's once again Ezra Miller's the one sort of
he's breathing a heavy sigh of relief.
Yeah,
this is true.
Yeah,
we spoke about this.
I hope it is, John. I'd like to see Ezra Miller get a crack at this. We've spoke about this a few times now, mostly from Ezra Miller, who I think maybe a few months ago says that they're that close to production on his script and stuff like that. There also was a talk about that he'd fallen out with the studio over the tone of the film as well. They wanted to go a little more lighter in the sort of vein of Aquaman or Shazam. He saw it as a sort of darker version of the character, which would be strange because the Flash and I don't know what one was it. Was it Dawn of Justice?
I think it popped up at the end, perhaps, of Dawn of Justice. Maybe.
I can't remember. What was the one that?
He was in Justice League for sure.
Yeah, that's when Bruce Wayne was recruiting him, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it was it was a Justice League then, John. I felt it was playing it the way he should have played it, very much like.
It was Aquaman that popped up at the end of Dawn of Justice.
Yeah.
I think.
I felt Ezra Miller's Flash, he played it the same way Tom Holland plays Spider-Man. Very young, naive. Very enthusiastic, wants to be part of the team, etc. So for him to take this in a sort of darker, direction is very intriguing,
And he's shown that he can do it, Stephen, in the Crimes of Grindelwald, playing obviously Credence Barebones. That's a very dark and sort of a inner turmoil going on within the character, and he really does a great job of portraying that darkness, that sort of a quietness. And obviously he's a guy that's thinking long and hard about his life and whatnot, and Fantastic Beasts, he's trying to find out his real identity. And it's been revealed he's a relative of Albus Dumbledore, so that's intriguing going forward. I'm glad to see they're shooting in that movie. Hopefully it's better than The Crimes of Grindelwald, because that was disappointing. Sort of a splintering movie where they're setting up various different things. This one though, I'm happy to see he's perhaps finally getting a shot to play the Flash again, because as you did say, Steve, we spoke about it, and apparently he was in a sugary peg. There was talk that he, as you did say, fell out with the directors. They wanted a lighter tone, akin to, as you said, Aquaman and Shazam. He was wanting a more darker tone and maybe a way to sort of test his acting chops and whatnot, and see if he could take the character in a different direction, a traditional DC direction. And it was at loggerheads with the studio, I think they threw out the original writer's script, and he had like a month to come up with a script, or a month and a half, because his contract ran out in June or something, or May. I think that's what they said. So the fact that we're now into late May, he's still hanging around, they're talking about shooting, they must like his script.
Yeah.
They must have had a bit of come and go with the directors, and obviously Ezra himself.
Late June.
Yeah. And they've got a good blend of darkness and perhaps the lighter tones that have made Shazam and Aquaman so successful. I'm on board. I like Ezra Miller, as I've said time and again. I think he's a great director, a great actor.
Yeah.
He knows how to do the character. As you did say, Stephen, he's kind of like Tom Holland. He's got that youthful sort of innocence.
Yeah.
Not so innocence, but he's just got that youthful exuberance. He likes to bounce around, and as you did say, he's just full of life and happy to be part of the greater sort of a Justice League setup. I don't know how that's going to play out going forward. DC have been speaking about doing a soft reboot and focusing more on standalones. We also know Gal Gadot's continuing on as Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
I don't see Jason Momoa hanging up his, what would you call it, trident anytime soon in Aquaman. So
I don't know, John. I don't know about that. He wants those claws.
Yeah, he wants the claws. He wants to become Wolverine.
Yeah.
I don't want that. I prefer him as Aquaman. The guy just personifies Aquaman now. He's took that character off in a completely different direction, rejuvenated it from a skinny little dwerp, blonde-headed thing into a big towering muscly mass. Look, I'd be happy to see Barry Allen continuing on. I like the character, and I would like to see Ezra Miller continuing on. So I'm delighted to hear about it.
Yeah, certainly.
Just intriguing though, I would add finally, before you move on, where would they go with the darker story? Who could they be facing up against? I don't know. You've watched the TV show more than me, Stephen. I know it was like some sort of a cripple, sort of a quadriplegic guy who was masquerading as a good guy, a mentor, and he was like nefarious in the background.
From the future, but
perhaps we'll see that.
Yeah, I don't know, John. I like the television series, but I'm glad they sort of kept it separate from what they were doing in the film. I'd like to see Ezra Miller continue. I think there's been too many changes. You know, he likes if you're going to have a new actor coming in to play Superman soon. We've already got your man coming in to play the Batman.
Yeah, Robert Pattinson.
I think as much as I like change, I think a bit of consistency is important as well, especially if they're going to maybe bring all these characters together at some point again further down the line. Hope it's not for a long while, to be fair. I want to see them flesh out these characters. This is what they should have done to begin with. But listen, we'll move on to our final article this week. It's Kevin Feige again talking. And he says, he is, he's a man with a lot of information this week, and he says Marvel is committed to finding a role for Keanu Reeves. How do you feel about this, John? Because I know that it's trying to put him in there without shoehorning, and just because he's the man of the moment. Certainly this year, with the likes of John Wick, that trailer we saw as well, the film it's out on.
Always Be Mine, maybe.
Just what an entrance that was in that trailer. But he's just...
And he's obviously Duke Kaboom in Toy Story 4.
And you see these videos coming up on social media every now and again, what a good guy is. You know, he's on the subway, giving up his seat and stuff like that, showing what a nice guy he is. He's sitting in, the park eating a sandwich, just being your sort of Joe Average. Very down-to-earth guy. If you've seen him on the likes of Ellen or anything like that over the last month or so, John, he's just a regular guy. He doesn't really seem to have been whisked away with all the Hollywood sort of lifestyle or it going to his head. Considering, he's been in the limelight for the last 25, 30 years now. He's been involved in some of the biggest franchises as well when you look back at Bill and Ted, The Matrix, and now obviously John Wick. So it's good to see that Kevin Feige's taking note of this, but again, I don't want him shoehorned in just because he is the man of the moment. I do hope if they're going to bring him in, I'd like to see him coming in as a villain. How do you feel about that, John?
Yeah, Stephen, I'd be on board. Look, I'm absolutely delighted for this. I love Keanu Reeves. I think he's just the man, really. He's not the most incredibly gifted actor with the best range ever, but he knows how to do action very, very well. There's been talk of him coming into Hobbs and Shaw, perhaps Fast and Furious franchise. That's just where the guy excels. He knows how to do it. We've seen it with John Wick. We've seen it with The Matrix. He knows how to do comedy as well. He's got a very distinct sort of sense of humour. We've seen it with Bill and Ted as well. He's going to be doing that. So I'm absolutely on board. I'm delighted. I hope he does come in. I'm glad to see that it's such another sort of a, what would you call it? I don't want to say plateau. There's a name for it. Zenith of his career, that he's now been able to command respect again. I don't want to say again. I think he's always been given a degree of respect, but people like Kevin Feige are now taking notice and they want to fit him in to their stories and their cinematic universe, because they realise that the guy, as I did say, is at a zenith of his career again. Well, who could they be playing? There's a whole lot of options here. I've actually got an article open, Stephen, but as you did say, touching on the man himself, so humble. I mean, he's not let fame get to his head. He's had quite an interesting life, to say the least, and I think that's also shaped the way he is. I watched his Hollywood Star ceremony, and the guy's just so full of sort of enthusiasm, and we were talking about exuberance with Ezra Miller's character. This guy's just exuding exuberance, and you've seen that in that obviously confidence. He just loves being an actor and making movies and making people happy. But who could they be playing? One of the potential characters they're saying here, Droog, is actually a villain, and he looks the absolute spit of a dark John Wick. He's got the red tie, the suit, similar sort of a beard and hair going on to Keanu, make his eyes red, and he's Droog. And apparently he is one of the villains in a potential Eternals movie, which he was getting hawked about for perhaps appearing in. Yeah. He's one of the main villains. He's a sort of a dark Eternal who wants to corrupt and control the minds of his fellow sort of Eternals, I keep saying it. So that'd be intriguing, that'd be a direction for him to go. The other possibility, Stephen, would be the Mandarin, playing the Mandarin in a Shang-Chi movie. I says that wouldn't be that great because he's not Asian. No. And we don't want to go down the whole Ben Kingsley furore again with him casting non-Asian people to play traditionally Asian characters. There's a whole lot of potential characters here. Moon Knight, Kraven the Hunter, I don't want to see, doesn't fit for me. Kang the Conqueror, Silver Surfer, the Beyonder, Adam Warlock. So I don't know, Stephen, there's a lot of heroic figures. For me, I agree with you. I'd like to see him do something different, tackle a villain, and this Druid character just seems perfect, tailor-made.
I think MCU as well could be doing with some more outstanding villains, you know. It's going to be very hard to top the likes of Thanos, but I think if you're going to get someone in like Keanu Reeves, then it sort of kind of builds up the profile. And
with them potentially tackling an Eternals movie very shortly, seems perfect for him to come in, perhaps be a Loki of the Eternals, the cosmic side, a guy that just overarcs various different movies and that side of things and plays people around like a puppet. I don't know, it'd be very intriguing. I'd be delighted to see him. Delighted.
Would,
and I'm always happy to see Kevin Feige speaking about the MCU. He gives us those little tidbits of information.
Very busy this week.
He's going to be very busy coming up to June as well, Stephen, with Comic-Con. We're going to find out more and more about Phase 4 after Far From Home.
But listen, that just brings us to the end of this week's MBE Heroes. We'd just like to thank you once again for joining us, and we will be back again tomorrow with MBE Movie News.